Welcome, my digital pathology trailblazers. Welcome, my AI in medicine trailblazers. Live streaming from PathVisions. So here we are at Pathology Visions.
Learn about the newest digital pathology trends in science and industry, meet the most interesting people in the niche, and gain insights relevant to your own projects. Here is where pathology meets computer science. You are listening to the Digital Pathology Podcast with your host, Dr. Alexandra Zhurov.
Today, so at PathVisions, well, at different conferences, you can get these little badges. So I have We Are Ground Truth, I color outside the lines, and I break through coffee. Welcome. The conference started today, and I have already seen a bunch of digital pathology trailblazers. Some of them are my guests on the podcast, and my partner in crime is here. Welcome, Imogen. If you have seen our live stream from Utah, right?
From Utah.
Imogen Fitt from, do you have your
Signify Research.
Signify Research, and we already did a live stream together at the Digital Diagnostic Summit. That was like what, a couple of days ago. You didn't go back
like
home,
a
right?
week. No, I did not.
No, I did go home because she lives in the UK, so that was a little bit too much hassle. But I live in Pennsylvania, so I went back home. And we are at PathVisions 25, and the topic, the through line, as I like to call it, is from pixels to patients. And it's, how shall I put it? It's like some kind of destiny kind of thing, because at the last conference we were talking about this, like, how can you empower patients to drive digital pathology? Is there a place to do it even in the like quite litigious country, litigious area of life, which is medicine and medical liability? Can you?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, you want to, but to which extent? How, like, what role does it play? So this is the topic of the conference, the PathVisions. So yeah, any insights that you have gotten from today's talks, today's conversations?
This year, there's definitely a change in the dialogue from worrying about what the cool, exciting, like far out bits and pieces that you can eventually do with digital pathology are. This year, we're focusing on examples, case studies. How do you stop making mistakes? Sim is in here and sort of going, we there are lessons that pathologists can learn from radiology, to reach out and do things. So I think pixels to patients essentially means let's focus on what we want to do with digital pathology, which is improve patient care. But now we're looking at, in terms of the topics of the conversations, it's how do we directly do that today rather than 10, 15 years time. So
yes, very much. And I see a couple of, so one presentation that I kind of got in private because I missed several because I came late again, like in all seriousness, one company, Path Presenter, I'm kind of like, and you analyze them, right? My like outside perspective, they are not even my sponsor, but I see like what they're doing. And by my sponsor, I mean the sponsor on the Digital Pathology Place. I like see the pace that they're going at. It's very fast paced. And like what they were presenting today, and Dr. Raj Singh was showing me the slides that I missed in the official presentation, was how basically they empower everybody who wants to take advantage of digital pathology for patient care to do it at no initial cost, which is like a big part of the discussion, because I don't know, even a couple of years ago it was like, okay, such a big investment, such a cost center, and now people are figuring out the way to make it profitable,
lowers the barrier to entry, makes it as easier, so that they can just sort of hop on and use it for free. And I think they have an impressive number of users as well. I don't know.
Oh my goodness, 70,000 people, 75,000 people are using Path Presenter in one way or another. 62 institutions that are using their like official paid version. Yes, and I am a user as well for the educational content. Like whenever I like teach histology or anything, Path Presenter is my go-to platform. It's just easy to use. You log in and like.
I don't know whether Raj mentioned, but they were talking about like an end-to-end workflow again, where they were trying to get more patients involved in clinical trials as well, which we talked about last time, the approach to Aperture. And it's nice to see, because vendors are now sort of not waiting for reimbursement, they're helping their customers sort of turn pathology into more of a profit center rather than a cost center, which keeps it relevant.
Very much.
Especially as it's coming into this bigger digitized world.
Yes, so he showed and obviously we're talking about a specific presentation from a specific vendor, but each of these presentations is a representation of a trend that is going on. And in the previous episode, we were mentioning other vendors that are doing something similar. So he mentioned three areas where they are doing it. One is consultations. So consultations, so the barrier to entry, you mentioned lowering barrier to entry, is very much with consultations because this is not in the primary workflow. It's something additional that you as a healthcare provider can charge for. And if you have a setup for this, then basically everybody who does not have a setup can tap into your setup.
Yeah.
That's on the software level. And they partnered with a scanning company, Grandium, which I just went to their booth. You need to go because they have 4 little grandies.
They've done some funny marketing as well. Because did you see the octopus version that they did for
yes,
April
that was
1st?
for the April 1st last time. Oh my goodness, because their product is called Ocus, and they did this funny thing that it was octopus. I don't know what it was, but it was so funny, and it was so on brand.
I like it. I like it when companies come out with there's, I think Zeiss one year did a ghost, but it was a pathology image and it looked a little bit like a ghost when they stained it properly. And it was very Halloween.
Cool. Yeah. So the Grandium is partner of PathVision. So they have these little scanners, right? Little means it can be put anywhere. So I currently have one at home because I just finished making a video about it. Yes. See, you need to join my list. If you don't get my emails,
I'm trying.
Maybe she just doesn't read them. Maybe she gets them.
Read them because they always start with a good header, so they always catch attention.
So I still have this thing, and by this thing I mean the Grandium scanner at home, the one that scans 4 slides. They came up with a new product, and this is it's literally this size, right? You can put it anywhere, and if you don't have space in your lab, you will find space for this because it's smaller. Yeah, it's less than the microscope, exactly. So their model is, okay, whoever cannot digitize can place this little thing wherever they want to digitize. And usually the consults, it's not you don't need a scanner that folds hundreds of slides, right? These are cases where you need to tap into expertise that you don't have around you. So they basically made it possible so that people who are not yet digitally enabled can quickly get enabled and get care for their patients. So I was impressed with that. And I love the big partner. It's partnering is a theme as well.
You have to be interoperable.
Yeah, interoperability is not a buzzword anymore. You just have to do it. If you don't do it,
we just need to dive more, I think, into the market on what actually interoperability means and how different types of institutions are able to reach different levels of maturity. It's different in a way, but it just goes to show that you don't just have to go with a 1,000 throughput scanner. There are mid throughput. There are it's thriving. Many pathologists like using it, and the tiny little ones like Grandium to impressive point deliver.
Yes, and I think Hamamatsu has a small one that's S20, which by the way I did a video on this one as well from a conference. But that basically shows there's plenty of different scanners, and you will need more than one. Because it's not one size fits all. Once you're you start with something, right? Whatever it is that you need for your institution. But if you want to then address all the places in your workflow, and especially if you have multi-site institutions, then not every site is going to need the same. It's not that you're going to be buying 20 of the same thing. You're going to be seeing what are the needs. I love it. Anything else today?
I think there's lots of different conversations that are going on at the minute. We've sat down and had a chance to do all 3 days. We'll write an article on it. AI seems to be a bit quieter this year, but it's more about regulation around AI and how to use AI, which is encouraging to see. What else do I attend? I attended Lycos, I attended Path presenters, but I've just come out of ECDIP, That was
the
really
European
interesting.
Society of Digital and Integrative Pathology.
They have a few very cool presentations where they had very specific information on, like, there was a pathologist from Romania who was talking about the regulatory environment there, and how to sort of learn lessons from some of the mistakes that they'd made in the past. And that was super interesting. There was a German pathologist who was talking about storage and how to approach that in a cost-effective way. So Fujifilm has just partnered to help customers solve their storage problems. I'm also noticing there's a load of vendors that have partnered with VoiceBrook recently. Have you seen?
Yes,
and I'm sort of
yes.
noticing that there's more like dictation software that's coming
Yes.
into pathology.
That's like very much on the wave of LLMs,
Yeah,
leveraging AI for like the non-regulated activities of pathology, which is
just smooth up the workflow.
smoother workflow, easier, faster life for pathologists. So I saw it the first time, I think Carista partnered with Dolby. And that was like the first instance that I learned, oh, you can just like voice direct your pathologist cockpit. And now it is a trend as well. I mean, makes sense. So why not?
It just goes to show
you
that
don't
you
have
can
to
get that
click
sort of
too much.
low-hanging fruit. Yeah.
Yeah. And also these so that was already integrated in Path Presenter last year. The chats within your pathology viewing software, like those mini agents that go and retrieve chatbots, like these agents that go and retrieve information for you for the cases. So that was like more last year's hype, I would think. Now people are used to using ChatGPT, so they kind of expect this to be.
How many pathologists do you think use ChatGPT?
Well, I use it. How many use? I think for work, less than for private stuff.
Yeah.
I know that people who are active in this space online on LinkedIn, they play with it a lot. They test it, and
I test it sometimes.
there was a wait, who did this? Andrew Bichkov. He's in Japan, and he did a poster on this. And I did make a video about it as well. I actually have this poster at home. He gave me the poster. He didn't want to take it back to Japan, and that was in Baltimore last year. So he had a survey. Let's see if I can pull out the data. But now it's like 2 or 3 years more.
Yeah. No, that's really, really cool.
But pathologists do it. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that trend. That it's like, I think because new people are coming into the workforce, new pathologists, they are used to all the digital modalities. They've been to PathVisions, and I love that they like don't settle for no digital pathology for their work. I'm like, yes, and they are not afraid to change where they work to be able to work digitally.
What did you think when you first sort of heard about digital pathology as a concept?
You know what? I was intimidated.
Was you?
Yes, because I heard about it the first time when I was doing my residency, and we had this scanner that only was used by a certain person, that only she could touch it, and this was like this high-tech device that we only could use for conferences. Yeah, like I wouldn't even come close, right? They wouldn't let me. And I was like, okay, so that's like for the elites, maybe.
Yeah.
But also in parallel, I felt like, how can I put it, disadvantaged because, but it was just in my head. Let me explain. So I did my residency in Germany, and we had to teach students, and they had this like web portal where they could go and look at slides, and everything was labeled, and I'm like, I didn't have that when I studied in Poland, and I felt like, oh, I didn't have access to this technology, and then I'm like, but it's online. Like, go and have access to this technology today if you feel so disadvantaged. So it was like, a funny thing, like funny feeling that, oh, I didn't grow up with this, but hey, go and Google it and you can get access to this right now. Stop whining. So these were a couple of my first experiences. One more thing is when I actually became a user was I was studying for my boards for the board certification, and I failed the first attempt. I failed because of histology, so you had to. Yes, that's not a good thing if you want to be a pathologist to fail histology and histopathology, right? You had to look at slides under the microscope, describe them, and like failed. I failed miserably, and then I like developed this aversion to the microscope.
Did you?
And I also was traveling, so I like didn't have the glass slides, and I'm like, okay, let's just focus on the content and not on the technology, because my exam was still on the microscope.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, it's not about what I'm looking, like what tool I'm using, it's about the content of the image. So then I actually was studying with a friend from UK, and we were doing virtual sessions on virtual slides, and I said, okay, screw the microscope, let's do it on digital, and let's see. And I passed.
Yeah, I did biomedical sciences. So there was a bit of we had a bit of like a histology module, and I remember twiddling and trying to use the microscope and thinking this is so hard, and getting past it, and you know, doing the module and being like fine at the end, and going I'm not going to try and do any medicine or become a pathologist. And then I remember joining Signify Research, and we were covering digital pathology and looking at these beautiful pictures and just going, hang on a minute, you can do this digital. What do you mean I had to spend months trying to learn how to? Why?
I know. I can relate to this because then I did a video on how to use a microscope, and people are still searching for it. Very much looking for tutorials on how to use a microscope.
Yeah.
So you can skip that tutorial if you are digital. But yeah, so I like that the workforce is driving the adoption, because you're basically not competitive anymore if you don't offer this. And also there are companies and labs that want to hire pathologists that work remotely, want to do this stuff digitally, very much driven by the outpatient facilities.
Yeah, and it means that businesses can sort of move across states without actually having to physically move their pathologists as well, so they can expand. So commercially, it makes sense for them as well. And the next generation, I think one of who was it? Somebody said last week that they put a job posting out, one for digital, one for non-digital, and then the digital one got like 10 times the applications.
Duh!
Yeah.
Get the grandium, and you can like hire a digital pathologist. Like, I don't know how many slides does a pathologist read a day, like an MD pathologist. I know for many a toxicology pathologist. Somebody's gonna comment on that. Guys, comment on this one, because last time we had a problem, we didn't know a name of something, and you commented. So if you're here and you know how many slides an MD pathologist reads a day, put it in the comments, or if you watch the replay.
I think at the LeMay conference a year, somebody did like 6,000, I want to say, prostate biopsies.
But not in a day.
Not in a day. That's in like a year. You can do the maths on like divide it by 12, divide by.
But would they need to read? Okay, it's like it's so funny because
that was supposed to be massively high.
You're gonna have like it's so funny because like pathologists, right? You are gonna have a dermatopathologist that reads different amounts of slides. You're gonna have the biopsy people who read like a lot more slides than the people that read resections, and are like, and a toxicologic pathologist reads a different amount of slides as well. Exactly. So anyway, different workflows, but let's say that the grandium that scans 4 could easily scan the workload for one pathologist if you want to.
It looks relatively simple.
Yeah, I think it's not a big deal. And if not, then the Amamas 20 slide scanner.
There's a couple out there.
Yeah, if you... I think
it's Precipoint.
Yeah, Precipoint. Whatever. Like there are affordable scanners that basically, if you're already investing in hiring a pathologist, then you might as well invest in making it a digital position, because you're gonna have a lot more applicants, and they often send me messages. Where can they work digitally? So if you're looking for some, let me know. I'm gonna connect you. So today we're wrapping up. We're gonna go to the exhibit hall, and tomorrow I will be very diligent, and I'm gonna go to those talks and make notes. And but you can join me anyway. Do you have any specific plans, any meetings with?
I've gone back to back meetings with vendors just to learn about where they're going in terms of the market, what they're experiencing, what they think their customer challenges are. I'm always interested to sort of just as well and hearing it from their side just to corroborate. You need both to really understand the market in a good way. And yeah, there's different vendors in the ecosystem. I've noticed this year there's a new display company. There's Orchard is this year, Mid-Clinicist.
I was a guest on their podcast recently.
Michael Lab's here on the attendee list as well. Were you on their podcast? Nice.
Yes.
And I've noticed Siemens is here, so obviously radiology and wider healthcare IT.
Is there.
Yeah, it's really worth going through the attendee list.
Barco, I just recorded the podcast, not the podcast, a post, social media post. So if you see any social media with any of us, comment, and share. Always share.
Only if the pictures are good, though. Some shocking ones.
Yeah, she's a little concerned about how she looks on camera, but the more you go in front of the camera, the less you care, and it's all about digital pathology in the end.
It is all about.
I mean, if I was about makeup or stuff, I would be more self-conscious about just showing up. But we're not about makeup, which is good, because it makes camera appearances easier.
I'm interested for the keynote tomorrow to see the
what's the title?
So, if I have a look at what I've got in my diary, because I'm here with
that you have all the notes.
It's Elizabeth Vaughan.
Yeah, the best.
I'm here with Elizabeth Vaughan, and we're trying to split the sessions between ourselves.
So, of course, you're invited tomorrow as well. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Are you going to the posters, digital posters? They disappear later, and they put new digital posters, because already a year ago I wanted, I'm going to go to the poster sessions, even if there's nobody there. Well, if nobody's there, there are no posters. So if you're planning, do it. If we are walking around, feel free to just wave at us. If I'm walking around with a camera, always wave at the camera. And 17 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow, there is going to be another live stream. If you're online, tune in online. If you're live here at PathVisions, it's going to be somewhere around the reception. You can join for the live stream. So if you want to bring your colleague, you can bring her as well, and then we're going to discuss. I am committing to going to sessions tomorrow, and you do the business insight, and we join forces, and then we do it again tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.